Next, let's take a look at a CSS property called z-index. And I have a quick example we can go through to look at that. You may have noticed that in this last example, when you scale the screen in and out, larger and smaller, that these elements can actually overlap on top of each other. And we can actually control that using something called z-index. I've created a really basic example here, 1, 2, 3, with these 3 divs, and I've given them each a generic class of z1, z2, and z3, and we'll use that to apply a different z-index to them and to position them so that some of them are on top of the other ones. So we'll just start out by going down in here and create a class called z1 so that we can add this first one to have a z-index of 1. Now, by default, if you don't specify, all the statically positioned elements just have a z-index of 0. And when you add some specialized positioning like relative or absolute, it will move above those statically positioned elements unless you specify a z-index. So a z-index of 0 is the normal layer that's just above the body. You can actually set z-index numbers to negative numbers, and those will fall behind the normal statically positioned elements. And you can never go behind the body. So the body is kind of like the farthest back layer that you can't get behind. So you can't make elements disappear or anything behind the body, but you can position them in front of and behind other elements on top of the body, essentially. And anytime we use a higher z-index number, it's going to go above another element. And anytime we use a lower z-index number, it's going to go behind those other elements. Okay, so this guy will just have a z-index of 1. Let's go ahead and give this one a background color of aqua, just so we can see the change there. And let's also give this one a position of relative. But currently, I guess we won't really, no need to position this one. We'll just position the other one on top of it. So I guess I'll just set this to top 0, left 0. Okay. And we'll run that to see that code. So now we're going to go in and set this second box 2 to overlap on top of this one. So we'll create another class and we'll call it z2, and I'll set this one to have a z-index of 2, and I'll change the background color here to lime so they stand out. And to pull this one on top of the other one, I'm going to go ahead and set it to negative 50 pixels on the top and 50 pixels on the left side. So I'll be pulling up this second box 50 pixels, and I'll be pushing it over from the left side 50 pixels. So we'll go ahead and run that, and you can see box 2 with the higher z-index of 2 is overlapping box 1 that has the z-index of 1. You can see if we change the z-index from 2 to a lower number than 1, for example, if I say like negative 2, which is a lower number, and you run that, you'll see it'll go behind. And then when we use a higher number, it will jump back on top. Okay? We can get this box 3 here into the mix as well by setting this one to have a z-index of 3. So we'll set you to z-index 3, and we'll set the background color here to fuchsia, and we'll set this to top negative 100 and left 100 to get them to overlap there. There we go. So you can see there that z-index of a higher number overlaps and pulls in front, and z-index of a lower number goes behind.